Hello YouTube! Tom coming at you. I've got an update to the Mason Jar Hydroponics. We've had a lot of questions and I would like to answer a bunch of them. So this is more of a frequently asked questions, not a how-to. We're going to have a how-to really soon about making this hardware store hydroponics. Real simple system, inexpensive, common parts. We'll get after that in another video. But right now, frequently asked questions. I'm going to take you down to the other end and we are going to look at some stuff. Okay, our next question has to do with pool noodles. How do you use pool noodles in hydroponics? So, I have here a pool noodle. It is from Dollar General. It cost $1. Pool noodles come in more than one size. For what I do here, the littler one is the one you want. The bigger one can be used, but it's tougher. It's different. It's harder. It's not physically harder. It's just more difficult. Yes, I'll continue to hit my head on that until they're gone. Okay, this is a hacksaw. You can also use a utility knife. Any serrated cutter, a bread knife would work really great for this. So, you need them about an inch long. That's all it takes. So you cut yourself a piece of pool noodle. Now we take our piece of pool noodle and we fold the inside in and the outside down. It looks kind of like a circle, doesn't it? Alright. So, now that we have a pool noodle circle with a smaller hole in the middle. Okay, these little plants here, I will be perfectly honest, I have no idea what kind of plant it is that I am going to be picking up. This is a sprout mixture. So, what you do here is you take the plug out. I really only want one plant. I'm going to do this as best as I can in front of the camera. I give you no guarantees. So, this plant is already established. It's already growing. It's in a nice light potting mix. It doesn't have to be. You can start these on a paper towel or you just set a seed in a cotton ball. Okay, so they're still held together. Water. Just water. Plain old water. Nothing special. Once you get the roots wet, they will want to naturally untangle. Okay, so now we have a plant. We have roots. We will take our pool noodle, we will put our plant around the root. We are going to squeeze that section in there and we will go around and then it looks like that. And these holes are 1.5 inches in diameter. Alright, so this is the blue one. Let me get one that I didn't. So on the green one, I cut just one time into it and that's what gave me this. So in this system, just have to put the roots in. Make sure the roots contact the media on the inside. That goes like that. I'm going to turn the plant a little bit because I don't want it pointed downhill. There you go. That is how you use a pool noodle in hydroponics. And I will show you another one that I did just a few days ago. This one up here, I did the same thing with 2 days ago. So, standing upright, very strong. All of these other plants in this system were put in a nursery for 2 weeks. And there we go. So This is Gold Rush loose leaf lettuce. These are bok choy. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 bok choys, 3 Gold Rush lettuce, and 1 red kale. And whatever that thing is that we just planted right there. So that's how you use a pool noodle in hydroponics. Next. All right, I decided that I would finish this out here because it's quieter, honestly. Everybody's home because nobody's going to work. So we're just going to work through our questions here. Question 5. Does this work for weed? Really? Can you paint the jar? Yes, you can paint the jar. If you happen to have spray paint, it doesn't matter the brand. I painted this one with a Rust-Oleum hammer paint. This was either a salsa jar or a spaghetti jar. I'm gonna put that right up there. So you see it kind of looks like there's stars in there, that's light poking through, but I think if I put another layer on it, it would be super duper dark. But looking inside, yeah, that was just one kind of medium heavy coat on there. If I put another coat on and I didn't use the hammered paint, which kind of pulls away from itself, I think that would work fine. Can you cover the jar with a sock? If you can cover the jar with a sock, you may cover the jar with a sock. This is not a sock. This is a mason jar. So let me show you what I did here. These are my socks. I wear a size 11 shoe. I don't know if that's doing any justice to how we're seeing this, but one sock, when I look inside of there, seems not so good. So I wanted to see if I could make it more better. I would use a dark sock. This is a dark regular tube sock, so it doesn't have the little heel cutout thing. So when I get that all on there and kind of situated, it does look quite a bit darker inside the jar. I'm not really doing a whole lot of justice for it, but yes, one sock okay, 2 socks really good. I wouldn't use a light color sock. Will this work for marijuana? I can't even believe how many times this question was asked. Next question. Will this work with basil? Yes. Any short-term plant that you can put in here, most herbs, you can put in the Mason Jar Hydroponics. You just have to realize this is a short-term system. This is more of fun. You're not going to feed a family of 4 on Mason jar lettuce. That's not the point of this whole thing. It's a step in a direction. Will this thing keep your family in leafy greens? Yeah. That's got 21 spots on it. And it is an outgrowth of Mason Jar Hydroponics. So just let's stick with that for a minute. Can I use aluminum foil? Sure, you got aluminum foil, use aluminum foil. If you want to use something that's not going to cost or has already cost you money, think about using a bag, one of the Mylar bags that your potato chips come in. Those would be great because they don't let any light through whatsoever. You slip them over there, hold it with a rubber band on top, that's fine. You can cover the jar with whatever you want. When you look inside the jar, is it dark? Does it look like you're underground? That's the whole thing. The secret of the Kratky system, if there's a secret, is not to let sunlight, get at the roots. When you let light get to the roots, it's going to invite algae to grow. Algae will grow very rapidly as compared with the leafy part of the plant, and it'll use up all the nutrients. That's why it has to be dark in the roots. Some of the pictures at the end of my last video, you can see that I took the covers off. I did not grow those without those covers on. I grew them with the covers on, and I took the pictures with the covers off. Can I use a Folgers coffee can? I happen to have a Folgers coffee can. And when I look in there, that's red. When you put light to the outside of that, that's red. Red light promotes green growth. How about red light promotes either green growth or blooming? Because blue light does the opposite. So however that is, look it up. Google it. You got time. If you put a plant in something that's allowing red light through, it's allowing that algae to get that pure light through this red color. So if you want to use a Folger coffee can, which would be great, because you can cut a hole for whatever size, whatever you got to put in the top. So if you want to use a Folgers coffee can, a Maxwell House, a plastic, a peanut butter jar, it really doesn't matter. When you take that off and you look inside, does it look like you're underground? That's it. Are the roots dark? Are the roots not getting any light? That's the big question. Can you use an amber jar? They say they block light, but when I pick up an amber jar and I look into it, I can see out the other side. That doesn't seem to me to be dark enough. Does it block enough of the right colors of light to make it work? Don't know. I don't have an amber jar. I have a piece of newspaper. Well, not today. I don't have a single piece on the whole property. It's spring, so we've used our newspaper to start the wood stove all winter long. Can I use manure tea? Yep. If you can figure it out, you can use whatever you want. You can use worm tea. You can pee in the bucket if you want. Whatever actually works. I know that Miracle Grow tomato formula, 1/4 teaspoon to the gallon, just like I went through in the first video, I know that works. You can try this at home without having to maybe even go out. You can use whatever yogurt container, coffee container, whatever you happen to have on hand. That's the whole thing of this. Yes, I went to the store, but I was going to the store anyway. You can dig through your recycling bin or your neighbor's recycling bin, find whatever you have on hand and set this up and grow a head of lettuce at home. It demystifies the whole system for you. It helps you go to the next step with hydroponics, because a lot of the systems you find online, there's all of this mystery and voodoo. Oh, you got to buy our system for this to work. No, you really don't. It's very, very simple, and a couple of seeds, a little bit of recycled material, and you are off to the races. What about cannabis? Really? Short-term crop. I don't even know how long it takes to grow. It's not my thing. It's your thing. Let us know. Can I do this at any time of the year? Where are you? Because winter up here is summer someplace else. I'm in the northwest corner of Connecticut. I can do this in the wintertime. I have a all but perfect environment in my south window. I would have to add artificial light for it to work through the dead of winter here. You need 13, 14 hours of light a day. So if you're not getting that from the sun, you need to supply it some other way. Leafy greens are very forgiving in that you can grow them with fluorescent lights. I did do a Mason Jar Hydroponic lighting video. I'll put a link to it up there in the description. That's easier. So you can check that out and see what it is that you need. It's really simple. Just go with the thought you can make it with stuff on hand. You can use a table lamp. It's not complicated. Where are the bubbles? The bubbles are in your beverage. As I said in the video, this is the Kratky system. I did not make this up. I did not create it under my own power. I'm not brilliant. I got online and I Googled until I found something that I liked. I found the Kratky system. I actually found it from another YouTuber. And then I Googled it. So the Kratky system. Dr. Kratky was a teacher, is a teacher. He was alive a few years ago. I haven't checked since. At the University of Hawaii. And Dr. Kratky did the studies, and he found out that if you put a plant, leafy greens, in the ground, in a water solution, not in the ground, and let it go, it will survive. It will create its own air roots, and it will do its own thing. You don't need bubbles. You don't need lights. You don't need pumps. You don't need any of this extra stuff. Will a bubbler help? Yes, it'll help your plant to grow bigger, faster. Will a pump work? I guess. I don't know what you're doing. This thing behind me has a pump, but it doesn't have a bubbler. It seems like it's doing fine. But it needs the pump to get everything up, and then the water just dripples back down. Why only yogurt containers? I never ever said you can only use yogurt containers. You can use any container that you have that you can fit. If you don't like plastic containers, go find yourself a glass container and drill a hole in it. You can use whatever you want. Does it fit? Does it block light? And can the roots hang down in the nutrient solution? That's it. That's the whole thing. So if you are gonna ask a question, make sure you watch the whole video, which, yeah, we're pretty well screwed because this is at the end. 99% of the questions I get, and I answer everything I possibly can, I want you to understand that, are answered in the video. So watch the video. That's a big pet peeve. I watched the first 27 seconds and you didn't answer all my questions. Well, duh. Watch the whole video, then ask a question. I will answer you one way or another. Or if you're really mouthy, I'll delete you. So I don't think I have anything else. I went through my most common questions. Cannabis, no, sorry, I don't think it works in Mason Jar Hydroponics. This is a windowsill. You got to keep the jar about half full. If your jar is really small, you just have to monitor it more. Once that plant gets big, it'll empty it like that. So that is the furnace in the greenhouse turning on. I'm going to end this video here because it's going to get noisy. And y'all have a great day. And I'll catch you on the next one. Hardware Store Hydroponics, probably the next one. All right, thanks.